Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So I know I've been posting a lot of Corolla content lately, and here's the reason why. So my RCF is actually currently and still installing bags right now as we speak, but it's taking a lot longer than we thought. We had to change a few things, so I want to go ahead and make this video maybe a multi-part series. This will be just the management part. The video is everywhere. I didn't record any introductions, extras. Didn't really film much for the editing process, but I feel like it's been a while since I posted the RCF, so I want to go ahead and post something. So I do apologize for it being everywhere. My brother and I were definitely working on this for quite a bit. Hopefully we'll be done in a few weeks. We only had like maybe an hour or so a week to work on it, so it's been taking a lot of time. I think we started back in August and it's still not done yet, so I appreciate everyone's patience and working with us with the RCF content, but I wanted to at least make a video showing the introduction of the bag series, and if you have any questions let me know. So I do apologize in advance. Mostly voiceovers, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Most of you don't know that my old car was in a wreck, so I ordered a new main harness from Bag Riders. With that being said, we are using my old manifold from my old car and just getting everything else new. Testing out to make sure the second compressor harness works. I got on Amazon. You can see, got 0 volts right now. Multimeter plugged up with the relay. And then when we turn it on, boom, 12 volts. Alright, so testing out the compressors now. Got it hooked to the second compressor harness. And we'll just make sure to turn it on and see if it turns on. Alright, perfect. Everything works. Amazon for the win. For those of you who don't know, this is what the main harness looks like. I pretty much got most of everything off of Amazon except for the main harness I got from Bag Riders. So of course you got the USB, height sensor connectors, the main connector that goes into the manifold, and then the relay. So first things first, we're gonna wanna tap into the battery with the positive and negative terminal. So we're gonna have to bypass the firewall. So my brother and I saw in the engine bay, there is a little spot in the engine bay, which we'll probably show you later down in the video. They actually have slots where you can put like, cameras or anything like that already that goes through the firewall. We're not finding it underneath the glove box. So pretty much we're gonna be cutting the hole and then running some zip ties so we see where it goes through, and then hook up the wires from there. And as you can see, we just kind of followed the existing wire as shown. And there was a zip tie around the grommet, so you want to cut that out to have more access to it. Without the zip tie, you can see how much play we have to fit another wire with the existing wires. Now to remove the back seats. It's pretty simple, just like every other car. You just kind of pull up on it and then it releases the hooks and you can just take it out from there. As always, we're going to follow the existing wires. Put a tube through on the cut a slit. It's made to put wires through. That light through to show on the other end to see what it's gonna feed it. Where we're gonna feed it through, and we'll feed the wires through that slit right there. That slit right there, we're just cut it up open. We're gonna slide the wires through that tube and pull it out. There you go. Whew. There you go. Yeah, I got it. Ooh. There you go, got it out. Okay. Now we're just going to be attaching the terminal connectors to it, pretty much exposing bare wires and crimping on the terminal ends. For the positive wire, you want to attach on the fuse tap on first. It does hold a 30 amp for the Airlift system. We added some electric tape over the heat shrink, and then we're going to crimp on the positive terminal end. Clean, no wires. Now we're just going to test to make sure that we got 12 volts since it's connected to the battery now. Should have just 12 volts straight up. Boom, 12 volts. We got power. Got power. Got posy locks instead of the heat shrinks. We end up changing everything to posy locks because it's pretty cool. We kind of forgot that we can use this. Super strong, look where the heat shrinks. And so we know we put tape over the second compressor harness. This is the second compressor harness right here. I'm not very good with wiring, but we're changing this out to this heat shrink crimp thing for the terminal ends now. That's how we have it. Got some positive wires coming up from the back. No really exposed wire other than that, so nice. And now we're just checking to make sure that we have power from the manifold, which would then turn on the controller as well. While it's probably not good to try to air out without compressor and air, we just want to test to see if the manifold was reacting and trying to shoot air. As you know, my car was rear-ended where the manifold was. In good news, we did hear a little bit noise of the manifold trying to shoot air out, so that's how we know the manifold is still good. Gotta crawl in the trunk. There's a clip right behind here. I gotta pull out. It's something like one of those trunk clips. We have to use the L-shaped pry tool and get it out. It's like right there. You can't see it, but it's right it's right here. Yeah. So I need to crawl in and get that sucker out. All right, this should be enough for everything. We got the back open with the trunk exposed, or switch it into cabin. Top part's exposed. Just the sides loose, so you don't have to do the complete side just to get access to the top hat nuts later on. Got the wood in, held on with I don't know what size bolt this is yet. It's held on. It's on there good. Just need the base of everything. We're gonna have to swap the brackets to sit on the side. Looks like just a 5 Allen key. Simple swap. It's a 4 Allen key. There you go. Now it's facing sideways. Now it's sideways. This is how it's sitting like that. You open it. Boom. Simple and clean. So wiring the controller. Got the multimeter. We end up using, at least for the Lexus series, we're gonna be using the side heater, which I think is the side mirror heaters. But I also have valves in my dash cam, so you can also use the wiper as a speed right there as well. So either or works. We're gonna use the side heaters. So we got 15 amp on that one. Control is about 3 amp, so we got everything plugged up. Just gonna wire it down, plug this up, and then we'll crimp this down later. Got everything tucked away, dodging the e-brake, all my extra wiring, and then everything's tucked cleanly. Now it's time to feed through. You see this light coming through, a lot of openings you can feed the wires through. Alright, that's how we got main harness, second compressor harness. Now to make sure the compressors are perfectly symmetrical, we got the middle point with the manifold traced out where one compressor is, and then we got the paper to drill out the holes. When we get that paper, flip it around for the other side to make sure the holes are perfectly symmetrical. And for the manifold, we bolted it underneath the wood. The middle bolt is threaded on to where the spare tire bolt will be threaded on. We drilled the relay to the wood as well, so in case a relay goes bad, we know exactly where it is. We won't need this with posy locks.
See, it's like a cone, and so the wire comes through here. That cone is pushing pressure as you screw more along the edges of this, and that's what's holding it down. It's basically like squishing it against this, basically. So there's a cone. It'll separate all these in the middle, right?
Oh yeah.
And then it'll make contact like that. That's what it's doing.
Okay.
And it's tight on the screws. They get those tensions. That's how it holds it.
Make it even tighter.
Yeah, and it can't be loose, and they got to screw it anytime you want.
Okay, so this is like a heat shrink type deal, but not the heat shrinking part.
Yeah, because this is connected both ways.
Yeah.
So that's how it works.
Alright, it's now time to install the tank. We decided to do a top mount tank system because we had a 4-gallon tank. We're gonna attach it to the liner itself to avoid drilling any kind of holes in the trunk itself. And with the side pieces of the liner, it should hold it pretty good. We are gonna do a reverse mount system, so that way the head of the bolt is gonna be facing the back, so that way it won't hit the subwoofer or anything like that. And we can remove the bolts from we can remove the nut from the outside without removing the liner every time. We use our own bolts, which is some random bolts we found that fits it. The brackets came with the tank.
Alright, this is how you adjust the tank. I'm trying to move this guy. over that way. So you simply just, bad boy.
Now it's time to add the fittings onto the tank. We use Amazon fittings, which I'll link it down below. I believe we use 2 elbows on the side and 2 regular 1/4 NPT to 3/8 OD push to connect, and you'll see what we did for the bottom release valve in a second. But make sure that you don't over tighten it, just a few hand turns. You don't want to cross thread your tank, that's not gonna look good. You might need a whole new tank at that point, so just be careful with it. Don't forget to add thread sealant on it as well, whether it be the tape or the liquid version. And I love these swivel fittings because once they're tightened, you can just turn it. For the compressors, we just threaded on a 3/8 fitting. So I have to film my phone now, but pretty much went ahead and picked up some new thread sealant from Loctite. So we put it on last night, and I could show you how I put it on. Just dabbed it around, got a finger kind of spread around. And I'm gonna go ahead, this is for the water trap. Went ahead and redid the ones for the tank itself. So all those are new sealant as well. We're gonna leave this one as thread sealant. It's just a closed valve anyways, an empty valve. Nothing's here anyways. And we're gonna keep the thread sealant on the compressors because we already did those. We feel like it's a good seal already. But these two, it's gonna be pretty hard to do once. But these two are gonna be pretty hard to do once it's on the car because it's upside down. So might as well make that one perfect first. Let's go ahead, put these on the water trap. And again, I do apologize for the quality. I did forget my camera, so we're filming everything on my phone. So we're drilling on the sides where the line's gonna come from the compressors up to the tank. Compressor, behind. She's there it is. And this is how we ran the water trap, as well as the emergency fill valve. Just like the compressor lines, we ran the water trap the same way. Have to move main water trap from the left to the right side. This left side is too tight right here because the plastic thing under here goes down, up. Got nylon spacers. So instead of using washers, you use spacers like this. Plenty of space. Get the subwoofer no more. Now you're probably wondering where the rest of the video is. Well, we decided to redo the entire management. So it's still being worked on as we speak of today, and the interior is all taken apart, so I don't have where I put the remote or anything like that. So you're just gonna have to be patient and wait for a future video. But trust me on this, guys, it's gonna look good. But I appreciate those who are patient and always follow me throughout the journey. And if you need any help, just comment down below as always, or even shoot me a DM. I'm more than happy to assist you the best of my abilities. And I hope you guys enjoyed this process. It's gonna be an adventure. We're almost done as of this day, but we have so much footage to go through. I do apologize for the voiceovers and it being everywhere. Filming it was very interesting because we did different parts like every day. And again, we had like an hour a day to work on it. So this is months of videos and footage. So I do apologize in advance, but I appreciate everyone who stuck to the very end. Thank you so much again for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video.